People follow you for you, and it's your story, and no one could ever replicate that. I don't think anybody else can say their parents were entrepreneurs. We had to sleep on boxes. Our parents built a trucking business, and now we're entrepreneurs. For someone else to tell that story, it's impossible. It's impossible.
Yeah. You're getting in my head, bro.
Go. That's fun.
Like, why?
Fun.
It should be a fluid conversation.
Just introduce yourself.
All right, hold on. That's actually funny because, one of the things that I put in here was the tone of the podcast. Oh, it's not in here. But the tone of the podcast should be two brothers essentially
just fucking
just
arguing.
the way we talk to each other. So So that you just experienced how we talk to each other right there.
All right, so just introduce yourself again.
All right, my name is Okan Haas. Okan,
right.
O-K-A-N, first name, last name Haas.
All right, I'm Onur Haas, O-N-U-R. And let's go through the big wins, and then we'll get right into the podcast. So, big win for me. My brother has been trying to force me to get on some time management stuff, our skills lately, and I'm terrible with time management. So, got me into planning the day the night before, and I think it's been a game changer this week. So that's definitely something that I would tell people to add into their arsenal.
Yeah, I think I've been doing it for the last month. I think we learned it from Sabri Subi.
Yeah, shout out Sabri Subi.
He owns a big media agency out in Australia. Super successful guy. We love his stuff, and yeah, he we went through his course, and he really hammered down the idea of managing your time. Managing your time is like super crucial, which we'll get into in a little bit. And I'd say one big win for me this week is taking action, I'd say. So alongside with the time management, when you're running a business, I feel like there's a lot of ideas that could happen, right? There's a lot of noise that you could put your attention to, right? So being able to plan out your day and then writing it down and listing it down from priority down, right? And you're telling yourself, all right, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this tomorrow. And then when that time comes, let's say 3:00 tomorrow, now it's 3:00 tomorrow, and I don't feel like doing it, I still have to do it because I told myself I was going to do it. So there's no if, ands, or buts. I'm doing that thing, and you just start doing it. You just start taking action, because I think that's where improvement starts. Improvement doesn't start when you say you're going to do something. Improvement doesn't start when you write about you're going to do something, right? Like it's genuinely in just doing the thing. And we learn that starting this thing.
Yeah.
Like, what do we say we're gonna do? Like, yo, we need to get into content somehow. And I'm like, bro, if you're not going to fucking do it, like we were going back and forth on it for a while. And I was like, bro, if you're not going to fucking do it, then like, you said, let me know when you do, and I'll be right there. Yeah. I said, let me know when you start, man. Cause we were going back and forth about what business to start for like months together. I said, let me know what you do. At this point, we're like not giving up on each other, but it was just all talk. And then I think that lit a fire under his ass, and he took action. He contacted someone, technically a lead.
Yeah.
The client, right? Kyle, like that's our guy. He's not even our client. He's like one of our best friends, I'd say, right?
Yeah, 100%. He's like family at this point.
He's family, in my eyes. He took action, and we did it. And we did it every single day, never missing a day. And what happened? Like, dude, something happened.
Something happened.
So shit doesn't happen from just talking about it.
Yeah, 100%.
Shit happens because you go and do it, man.
And then that's a big thing that Kyle says all the time too. AKA Pain the Man, again, for all you guys that don't know. He has a tattoo that says, do what you said you would do.
Yeah.
And I think like there's just no other way to explain it. I think the coolest part about the journey so far is being able to look back and being like, how the fuck did I get here? Like, I think that is the coolest fucking part of being in the business journey, is like, you had an idea, and as long as you take action, it evolves, and then you'll find yourself in like 3-month spurts, 6-month spurts, a year spurts. Like, how the fuck, in a great way, how the fuck did I end up here? Like, how did I end up here?
Yeah, like out of all odds.
Like, it's just like, how did this happen? Like, how was I put in this spot? And I think, like, entrepreneurship has been so tough and so hard, and there's a lot of days where we question what we do.
Oh, so many days.
And you doubt yourself. But it's when those little wins happen, it changes your whole perspective in life. And like, as you know, Okan showed me an interview by Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful. Entrepreneurship is about having freedom, and that's the thing that we're chasing.
Yes,
and we don't have it yet. And hopefully anybody that gets on this podcast and listens to this podcast, you're in a spot where you don't know where to run, you don't know how to do it, and you have ideas. Maybe you want to implement them, you haven't, and we can show you the roadmap for free. Like, this is all for fucking free. As long as you take action, doing the things that we tell you to, you're gonna get somewhere, and you're gonna
get something out of it.
Yeah, you're gonna get something out of it. And I think we need to, as an entrepreneurial like society, you would call it, like just all the entrepreneurs out in the world, we need to get rid of this social media mentality of just thinking that you deserve things tomorrow, or if you work 1 million hours that you're going to make $1 million tomorrow. It's just never going to fucking happen. Like, it's just never going to happen, because guess what? Every fucking week that we do this and we make money, our bank account, we're fucking redlining, but guess what? We figure it the fuck out, and we figure out how the fuck we're going to do this.
Yeah, you got to be good on the pressure.
100%.
You gotta be, like, I think what I've noticed since the past, like, I'd say almost 3 years now, right, since starting this, and you know, I quit my job. Let me get back into the backstory so they have like somewhat of an understanding. So I'm 28 years old now. About 3 years ago, I quit my job as an architect. I was working out in Malibu because you know, I had thought, you know, my whole life, you know, I've always been kind of good with design. Like, I like, you know, creating stuff, and something happened. I was working for somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, I got the job. I thought it would be my dream job, and I was working for somebody else. And just in my DNA, in my core, I knew that, like, that's not like where I belong. You know what I mean? Like, it's
not who you are.
Yeah, it's not who I am. And it's not even that. It's. I feel like it's either you're chasing freedom, or you're helping somebody else chase their freedom, right? So, like, it clicked for me. Like, I wish I knew the exact day, or like the exact moment. I can't like completely pinpoint it, but something just clicked, and I was like, I can't do this. I need to. I don't care what the result is. I don't care. That wasn't even a thought. It just clicked, and I was like, I quit my job. I canceled my lease, and I was out. I was out. I didn't care what the hell it was. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, dude, I don't even know what took over me. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So I was like, and I knew deep down, I was intuition, I guess. I just knew that it was the right decision. But going from that, like branching from that, what were we talking about right before this that I said I would lead into it?
Just your backstory.
Right. And then what did I say I was going to get into after that?
I don't know. Just keep going. We're on a fucking roll right now.
Yeah,
baby.
yeah, we're good.
Well, just let me.
Oh, I know what that is. So it was the working and not expecting any return, right? So like being good on the pressure, right? So now that, you know, me and my brother decided 3 years ago to start something together, we knew. We didn't have to say it. We knew that we were going to start something together. Like, we didn't have to say it out loud. We knew it. There's been like so many hard times past 3 years, I feel like, right?
Dude, yeah.
And we're still going through it.
Yeah, 1,000%. and you feel like the best way that Okan put it together, or put it in words, was being an entrepreneur is like being like you're sinking, right? You're like treading water, you're sinking, and like the water's coming up to your nose level, and you just got a smile on your face.
Yeah.
And you just don't know whether
you're drowning.
Yeah, you're drowning.
You're gasping for air.
Yeah.
Constantly, but you're smiling doing it. That's what it is. So if that feeling that you get when you're drowning and you're gasping for air and let's say you're on an ocean, waves are hitting you. Every time you gasp for air, you're like, all right, that's why it's worth it.
Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah, and it's like, and just to give you guys another backstory, is like, I think the reason why we feel like this is because our parents have been entrepreneurs their whole lives. Like, even though our mom works a job, she's had, started businesses with our dad like multiple times as we were growing up. And like, I think a cool thing is just seeing the persistence and seeing that they'll never give up for their family. And I think like that's a huge thing that brought us up. I mean, I can tell you guys, like, remembering as a young kid, me and my brother would, we used to have a gourmet food store at a mall that's very close to us. And I remember our dad used to, make boxes or put together boxes and make a bed for us to sleep on. And, kindergarten and first grade was like at 7 a.m. in the morning, but he had to, do sales and stuff for the store because it's holiday season and he has to prep and all this stuff. And just being able to see that at a young age, like, it turns you into somebody, and you know what it is, dude? It turns you into somebody that wants more out of life, but also it gave us the opportunity to be like, you can play your own rules. Like, you can make your own rules.
Yeah.
And also, I think
it's 7:00.
That's our time.
That's our time.
I don't know if we heard that, but
also
every hour it goes off.
But also, I think at the same time, it's that, we've seen our parents struggle and be successful and struggle and be successful. And now, thank God we have, a trucking business that we started, or they started, and it runs pretty well. But it gave us the insight that we can do anything that we want. And also living through the bullshit at a young age was like, I never want my kids to go through that. Mm-hmm. I don't want my family to go through that. And I will do anything in my power to make sure that doesn't happen. And I don't think a lot of people have that in life. I really don't think a lot of people have that in life. I think people get raised by their parents. Their parents have had jobs. They're told they have to get a job, and they're told, you need to go to college. You need to do this. You need to do that.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, because we went to college too. Like, we went to college too. And it was for me, I thought it was the biggest waste of time ever.
I enjoyed it.
I hated college. I fucking hated it with a passion.
Well, I went to Miami. I think that was why
But I mean, I went to a school that was very like prestigious too, and a lot of like great minds and stuff. But it was just the structure of the classes, and just remembering sitting in class, and I'll never forget this. Just a professor that was basically tenured, and this guy's making hundreds of $1,000s a year teaching. And I just remembered him sitting down and saying, I'm going to put up the slides. They're going to automatically go. You have an hour in this class. Just write down the slides and make sure you don't miss anything, because we're going to have a test on this. And he didn't speak one fucking word. And I just remember in my head being in that class and be like, I'm paying like $5,000 for this class, for this guy to make money and to just write some stuff, not even explain how it works. And that was like the last straw for me. I kind of like, my mind went out the window, and I was just like, dude, there is nothing that this school can give me that is going to be in my benefit.
Right.
Like,
well, schools like that too, I think it's more about putting yourself in the environment with other people that are like that. Right. So like, I think because we're not used to that. Mm-hmm. We don't understand that. It's hard for us to like, I think, grasp that idea, but
yeah. But just to go off that real quick is just the last thing I'll say on the whole school topic is just like, I just know that like going through that whole thing, and then, you know, here's what made it crazy for me is just, and I think you realize this too. You work so hard, you put hundreds of $1,000s into school, and then just to get a job and then being like either, oh yeah, we're not hiring, or you don't qualify, or like, yeah, starting salary is $50,000-$60,000 a year.
Yeah.
And it's like, how the fuck am I going to pay this off, live where I'm living, have my own place, pay for my expenses, and like, which is not a bad thing because a lot of people go through that. But
And a lot of people can afford it.
yeah, and a lot of people can afford it. But I think in our situation,
maybe not anymore. I don't know.
not anymore. Yeah, but in our situation, I think I'd rather instead of having to live with somebody for somebody else's dream, instead of having to share an apartment with somebody, instead of having to, you know, struggle and not know when you're going to eat, wait for that raise and all that stuff, and make your career happen, you're doing it all for somebody else. And I think the way that I looked at it is, I'd rather struggle. Like we're struggling right now. Mm-hmm. We're not struggling, but we're just, you know, you're going to struggle.
You're always going to struggle.
You're always going to struggle as an entrepreneur. But I'd rather struggle with somebody like my brother that I fucking trust, building a business and doing it for us on our own time. And I think the one thing that clicked for me was, you know how they always say, like, as an entrepreneur, it's not a 9 to 5, it's 24/7.
Yeah.
It's like you're happy that you get to do that 24/7.
Yeah, because it's like what happens with that is, like, I was listening to the Steve Jobs video, like, this is years ago. He was probably a little younger, but he was like, well, once you start to realize that you can kind of poke at the fabric of reality, and then something happens on the other end. So like, you can create something, you can poke at it, and then people react to it. And now it's like this ripple effect. You see what I'm saying? Once you start to actually grasp that, you're like, whoa, like what I'm doing is actually has an impact.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So and then with that, I think that's what excites us. And then I think with that is we're still, you'll always be like racing against time, essentially, right? Like, the more hours you put in, the better the results will be, right? So like optimizing your time. You're always stuck to that, in my opinion, right? Mm-hmm. So even like if you're working a 9 to 5, right? You have your hours set for you, and you're going through the day, you get up, you have to be somewhere, and then you do the work and you leave. Like that time is set for you, right? You know what I mean? And I think one of the biggest things for me was, look, I still have to be blocking out times. I still have to do this, but I get to do it. I get to pick what I get to put down. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I get to know, I have the freedom to say, this is what I have to do tomorrow at 3:00. You see what I'm saying? Not someone's telling me you have to do this tomorrow at 3:00. And that in itself, I think, is like the biggest, like, sense, like this feeling of relief. It's a taste of freedom, essentially. It's not the full thing, but it's a taste of freedom, in my opinion. So I think that is super powerful within the entrepreneur's eye, like through that lens, right? You were looking through that lens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing it now too. Like, we don't want to be, we're chasing freedom. That's what everybody's chasing in this business, right? And like, 100%. That's why capitalism is awesome. That's why we love capitalism, essentially, right? Because it's like, it's such an awesome model. Like, you know what I mean? You get to sell things. Like, you get to sell things to other people. You get to shake hands with people. You get to build value. You get to build. That's awesome, in my opinion. So,
yeah, 100%. Now that we got a little bit of entrepreneurial, motivational stuff, let's get into some content stuff, huh?
Yeah, is that what we're doing? So, target audience, no.
Well, let's just get into some content stuff.
Yeah, we will. Let's do it.
I think a big question people ask us is, like idea generation. I was having a conversation on Wednesday with one of Vince's guys. And I feel like so many people have such hard times creating content, us as well, because this is our first podcast. And
how long has it taken us to finally do it?
2.5 years.
We have been creating content for other people for 2.5 to 3 years.
Yeah.
And we have been so scared to post ourselves. I don't know why, but we can relate to the people out there that that are scared to post.
Yeah,
it's not easy.
It's not easy at all. I mean, I think let's run down what we did this week.
Yeah.
So like, how do we actually start this podcast?
Yeah. Well, you were going to say something about
what
the
views,
the Leo thing.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay. Let me run back to that. So he was asking me, some ideas, and, I think ideas are so easy. It's just, you start with something that is so obvious, like something that somebody else is doing. I mean, you have endless amount of content ideas from just looking at For You page, looking at accounts that are doing what you want to do. And you don't have to worry about copying someone, because this is going to go into a rabbit hole again, but
just let's keep it on task.
Yeah, but
because let's go back into the
how do we came up with the podcast?
No, not even that.
What?
What you were about to say before.
How do we start?
Like it's not easy doing content. Let's get back into that.
So
let's tie it back into that.
I think, going back to it, it's just, you have so many people, and people are scared to like copy or try to make something that somebody else has made. But you got to remember now, like, we're not even in a creator celebrity phase anymore. We're in the personal brand phase. And I've seen so many people say, I've seen so many YouTube thumbnails like lately saying personal brand is dead, and that's such bullshit. There's going to be a differentiator about you versus somebody else. And even if they have 100,000 followers or 1 million followers and you only have nothing, you literally have 0. It could be the fact that you're Mexican. You're from Mexico and you want to talk about sushi. And the fact that you come from Mexican heritage, you might draw an audience that loves you for that. Or in our case, we're Turkish, and hopefully, we'll draw some Turkish crowd from doing this. And it's like, there's things about you that people are going to follow. So that's just like one piece of advice that we can give on this podcast. Is just like, don't be scared about, that person started posting about the thing that I wanted to, because honestly, there's a lot of agencies that are doing literally what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
And we're going to fucking crush you. But I think it's just, people follow you for you, and it's your story, and no one could ever replicate that. And no one else, I don't think anybody else can say, there's definitely way worse circumstances, but I don't think anybody else can say their parents were entrepreneurs. We had to sleep on boxes. Our parents built a trucking business, and now we're entrepreneurs. They're like, for someone else to tell that story, it's impossible. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so
Turkish-Americans,
like,
it makes no sense.
Yeah. So like, maybe there's Italian Americans that have gone through the same thing, but like, I don't think first Turkish generation.
Well, maybe. But definitely not. Maybe not.
Also not with the name Onur and Okan.
Yeah, definitely not.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not with our middle names Alex and Andrew. There's no way. There's just no way. So just know that at the end of the day,
you're unique.
You're unique, and your story means something, and you have a different DNA. So if you want to start posting content, you should 100% just start doing it tomorrow. And if you guys are having trouble, leave a comment or hit us up on Instagram.
Maybe we could, definitely help you out.
Yeah, and we'll chat with you. So,
but
going back.
Yeah, but tying into that.
Yeah.
We understand that it's not easy to put yourself out there, because it took us
it's hard.
2.5, almost 3 years to finally do this for ourselves. As we built up other clients, proved the method, understood that, okay, you can create a business out of this, right? Finally, we're like, I guess it just clicked. Finally. It's the take action thing.
Well,
it comes back to the take action thing. I think that was the biggest takeaway for me. It was like this week, right? Like, just take action, just do it, and then just post it.
Yeah.
Like, just do it. Like, just move your fucking right hand.
Yeah.
Grab the camera, place it, and then press record, and then say something, and then press post, right? Like literally it's that, just do that. And then you start the process, and then now just do it every day.
And I think it's
just
like,
do it every day.
yeah, it's like even with the, we gotta set up the lights and then the camera and this and that. And like, when you start getting negative in your mind, you start to make all these things up in your head. Like, oh, that's going to just take too long. Like, we'll do it next week. We'll do it next week. We'll do it next week. And then 2.5 years fucking passes. But then I will say like one thing that, I clipped up a Hermosi podcast or live interview. And he talks about imposter syndrome. So I think a big thing that we battled with is that we didn't realize how much of an impact we made with our clients. And we didn't realize how much we actually knew about this stuff. So I think we were dealing with a little bit of imposter syndrome. And I think in the last couple of weeks when we joined Sabri's mentorship, everything started to click and we're like, damn, we're like ahead of a lot of people in here. Like not even like, maybe like not on the ad sense or the copy sense and stuff, but like we understand the game. Like, and I think that was like a whole, for us, for our mind, we were like, oh shit, like we know way more than we think we know.
Yeah.
And I think for me, at least, it completely eliminated the imposter syndrome. Yeah. Like, cause now it's like, damn, I can actually teach people this. Like even after the call today with our funny story with our two best friends, like me and my friend Dom, we've been best friends since like high school, and my brother and Matt, his best friend, like have been also friends since high school.
We're same age.
They're just
same
Italian.
grade.
Like they're just Italian. Yeah, we're just Turkish. It's just the weirdest fucking thing ever. But like even getting off that call, I was like, damn, we were so like confident in what we were talking about because we've done it.
We've done it. We've went through it, and we believe in what we do because we've put in the reps. Mm-hmm. We've proved to ourselves over and over again.
And we still have a lot more preps to put in.
We have a lot more reps, a lot. We haven't even scratched the surface, but we've proved to ourselves up to this point that we can do it. So what happens with putting in the reps and taking action is you build confidence. That's the only way you can really build confidence, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? So
like unless you're doing some type of entertaining content and you're doing like funny comedy or whatever, like that's
the same thing.
No, but I'm saying
because you're putting in the reps.
No, I'm saying starting content, like getting into content, right? Like you can, like, I think it's a whole different avenue of business owner or expert trying to, be on social media and sell their service or just give free value out versus somebody that's in the entertainment industry, like a Logan Paul or Jake Paul that, hey, I can try this video. Oh, did it make people laugh? No. Okay, let me try again. Oh, did this one make people laugh? Oh, no. Versus, and then you just build and build and build that versus in our sense, and the people that we work with is they're experts in their field. So the camera for them and the content for them
just amplifies.
It just amplifies it. It's another piece of the puzzle. It's another finger of the marketing glove.
Yeah. So what we learned from the past is from previous, but by putting in the reps, is if you're getting into content and you're putting your whole life savings into just doing content essentially for just yourself, that is that's a completely different mountain in my opinion, right? Like you're going after a beast, right? Like if you're a business owner and you've created something super successful, or you've created something that you truly believe in, and you're in the process of making it super successful, and maybe your marketing is not on point yet, or it is on point. It doesn't.
But you built a great foundation.
You built a great foundation with the content, with the mass distribution of content. What that allows you to do is it allows you to engage with your audience and build immense trust, right?
Yeah.
Like you're just building trust if we're at the attention economy, right? So like if you're not out there and you're not in people's faces, like you're out of sight, out of mind. Why should I care about you? The person that I just saw is the last person I just saw is the person that's I'm probably more likely to think about.
100%.
So amplifying that, incorporating into your business, becoming that person that can support your business, support your mandate, support your your messaging, support what you stand for, and then tie that back into your business. Now you have something that is essentially now you're just putting another layer on top of that.
Yeah,
right.
1000%. You're just stacking it.
You're stacking it.
You're stacking the value.
Yeah, you're stacking the value.
And
exactly.
I think, like in Sabri's course, like, I was just thinking about this too. Like, this just came to my mind with having the high value content offer and offering something for free. And then when you go onto other websites and, we'll talk about this in other podcasts and as we get better at this.
How to monetize too. We'll get into all that, like what we've learned on how to really, take the views and convert it.
Yeah. And I think with a high value content offer, it's like, it's the same fucking thing, bro. It's like you are going through websites and all they have is book a call and every company is the fucking same. And when you have some company that's like, oh, well, we also give you free information. So just take a look at that. No harm, no
value,
foul.
of real value.
You have real value. No harm, no foul. And you don't even have to do business with us. It's the same thing with content. Like, let's just take two restaurants.
Video content.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, let's just take two restaurants on the same street, right? And one does content, one doesn't, right? One does content, entertaining people, showing people food, maybe showing people recipes, giving them a recipe book for free, doing all these different things. Yeah. And that social media blows up. Or even if it doesn't blow up, if you're around the area, if you follow those people and you're like, you know what, I'm kind of starving. Where do you want to go? And it's like, oh, let's go to that place.
What you've done is you've penetrated the market because all the attention right now is on you. Is on the phone.
Yeah.
Which is then in relation to that is on you.
Yeah.
So you are not out of sight. You are on site.
On someone's mind.
On someone's mind.
Yeah.
So I'm going to you because I just saw you a week ago. Oh my God, that's that spot.
Yeah.
I want to try that place out.
100%.
I saw that place like 5 times.
Bro, there's like, even to the point where it's like, there's this burger company. I forgot where it is. It's somewhere in Europe. I think it's like, I want to say like Finland or Sweden or one of those countries. And it's called Pretty Patty. And it looks so fire. And they have like burgers, like they're all American style burgers, like from like the original burgers from each one of the states and stuff. And
yeah, it sounds pretty good.
But guess what I'm doing? If I ever go to Sweden, or Finland or whatever,
you're trying that place out.
I'm trying that place out. I mean, maybe I'll never go there, but like if I do,
it just shows you what it can do.
100%.
Yeah.
So I think that's something to keep in mind. Is just like it's like if you guys are familiar with, as a business owner, if you're familiar with, I mean, we don't even do it because we're gonna start it. But if you're familiar with just writing emails, one of our clients is a master at it. And they write emails actually multiple clients that we have, they write emails every single day for outreach. And guess what it does? You just pop up in the inbox. And even if you don't read it, even if you just open it and just whatever, at least in the back of your mind, you're there. And it's the same concept. It's like every day you're just putting something out. And I think
of value.
And I think this is what I was talking about before. If you're doing content to, I'm going to make sales off this. I'm going to do this, which is like, that's fun. That's, that's fine.
Fun.
That's fine.
Making money's fun. We all know this.
But if it's all about making the money, you're never going to, you're done. Like you're never going to outgrow or grow something.
You're not going to be able to see the bigger picture.
100%. Because with email, with the client I'm talking about, like he's had clients come to him after 2 years or 3 years, right? So it's the dedication of, it's the same thing. If he writes an email a day and you're posting every single day and he's doing both, he's going to outwin you every day of the week, right? Because he's on your mind. And when you finally go to make that decision, guess who you're going with? Him over you, right? So it's the same thing with content. And this is the point I wanted to address. Social media has made us think that it's like, oh, we're going to get everything tomorrow. And there's definitely people that are lucky that it happens. We've had a client literally hit.
What do you mean by we're going to get everything tomorrow?
Like they want to get the views and the followers and the money and all this stuff tomorrow, right? We've had clients. Some people
think
get
that, yeah.
some people get lucky. Some people get lucky. We've had clients that we've literally posted, and it's like 1.5 million views overnight, and it was like holy shit, right? And then we've had clients where it's taken a year. We've had clients where it's taken 6 months, and we have clients right now that it's taking a little over a year now. But like it's fine. Like it's not the matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And if you can hold out and you know people watch your journey and you grow, that's where you're going to get your return on investment. It might not happen a year. It might not happen 2 years from now. It could happen 5 years from now. But whoever holds on the longest, you're going to win in this game, because guess what? There's other people that have probably tried for a year and said, you know what, screw this, I give up. There's people 2 years in, you know what, screw this, I give up. But if you could hold out for 10, 15, 20 years, which I think like, you know, the whole...
Well, the game's going to keep changing.
Yeah, the game's going to keep changing. But still, the omnipresence that you need to have
the game
is never going to change. Yeah. The omnipresence that you need to have is never going to change. Whether, like, and Okan says this all the time, whether, you know, it's on this platform or not, it's where...
The attention's at.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 100%, man. All right, what were we at with time here?
We got like, we're at like 40 minutes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So,
all right, so I guess we'll start to wrap this up a little bit. This is our first one, so bear with us here, right? It's not easy doing this.
yeah. I think.
What's our biggest takeaway from
starting this podcast?
I guess starting this podcast, finally doing it. We haven't even posted it yet.
Oh, let's just run through that real quick.
What?
Because that's one thing that we wanted to get back to.
What?
Was, and sorry for this thing, guys, being all over the place. Maybe next week.
It's fine. It's
But I'm saying, I'm letting the listeners know,
all right.
the 0 listeners that we have right now,
yeah.
letting the listeners know that maybe next week, maybe we'll have more of an outline so we can like go from topic to topic.
Yeah.
But I think, and I just lost my train of thought. But
Did you actually?
Yeah. Oh, how we started. So what did it actually take to start this podcast? And for the longest time, Okan and I were going from...
Oh, wait, before he gets into that, so what does it take to get into this podcast, right? Mm-hmm. So this, I guess you guys could use for anything, like whatever you're trying to start and take action. But keep going.
Yeah, so what it actually took for us to start this podcast is, and for the longest time, we like just tried setting up the cameras and doing this and doing that and whatever, and we didn't really have a plan of action.
I know where this is headed.
We didn't really have a plan of action. Yeah. So like, what did we actually do this week that was like, holy shit, this is a great idea. Like even to the point where we came up with the name today, the day that we're recording this podcast, we came up with the name, and my brother and Okan, you know, was on using ChatGPT, great tool for you guys to use. And he didn't say, make me a name. He said, he fed it all this information, and then like days and days, maybe weeks and weeks of information of our business, of this and that. And then just said, hey, we want to start a podcast. And we wrote this whole thing on the board right here.
Just planning out
this board. And he took a picture of that, imported to ChatGPT.
And then made a document out of it.
Planned it. And then we're like, oh, that makes sense. That sounds very clear. Like, why the fuck didn't we do this before?
Yeah.
And then we asked for a name. And then for some reason, it said something like Band of Brothers. And then I was like, you know what would be a great name? Brand of Brothers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it felt so easy. And right now, even doing this podcast, I feel fucking lit up. And I'm like, damn, like this is actually making me like
excited.
Yeah,
I don't think I like brand. Do you like Brand of Brothers? I kind of like, yo, look, it's the Brand Brothers.
The Brand Brothers?
Like it's the Brand Brothers.
Well, we're going to ask the audience.
Yeah, that's true.
So in the comments, if you're watching this or if you're not watching this, just let us know, Brand of Brothers or Brand Brothers.
I think Brand Brothers makes sense.
It's like Property Brothers.
Yeah, Brand Brothers.
The Brand Brothers.
Yeah, like it's the Brand Brothers.
So, yeah, I mean...
yeah, this is what we're super passionate about. So
I could talk about this forever.
Yeah, we could talk about it forever. And we'll be doing these, we'll be posting these weekly.
On Fridays.
No, Thursdays. Thursday night, 6 p.m.
We want to do Thursday night, 6 p.m.?
Yes, Thursday night, 6 p.m.
Right,
we wrote it down. Thursday night, 6 p.m. every week. Yeah, so you guys could continue watching and listening to our story and within the process of being in the trenches, essentially, we are currently in the trenches. You guys can see our process unfold. So we might. We're never going to stop doing the podcast.
See, we're in the trenches, brand of brothers, dude.
Yeah, that's so true. So yeah, I don't really want to stop doing this. This is fun. I can't wait for next week.
Yeah, me too. This is awesome.
So yeah, if you guys liked what you just listened to or just watched, just do us a favor, like this, share it, save it, comment, freaking send it to your mom, send it to your aunt, whatever.
Send it to anybody that is. If you're just watching this to support too, and you don't even want to make content, send it to someone that is trying to make content.
That's struggling with it, because we have the answers. Yeah, we don't have all the answers, but we got some. We got some answers.
And at this point of our stage, because we're nobodies on this first episode, and hopefully, we're gonna make this thing huge. We have more time to answer questions and help people that actually need help, and we'll always support people. That was one pact that me and my brother made. We had somebody that we wanted to work with. They didn't give us the time of day. And we literally, I remember shaking hands in the car with you and said, if anybody ever reached out for help for free, we would always help them, give them guidance.
If it comes from a good place.
So
yeah, we're here. Like we said that from the start. Yeah, exactly. We said, because we tried reaching out to people, right? And they just kind of brushed us off, and that sucks.
Yeah,
that's not a good feeling, especially when you're so passionate about, or you genuinely like and then you just brush them off. Yeah, like if you need help and you get our attention, and somehow, some way you get our attention, we will do our best to help you with whatever you have questions about.
1,000%. And we love doing it. I could talk about it for hours. Sometimes Okan has to get me off the fucking phone because he's like, dude, all right, we got shit to do. Yeah. You got to get off the phone. I'm a huge, and having two brothers, Dan, we're going over the like and subscribe, but having two brothers is just, I'm the visionary, and Okan's more of like the
more logical and
the CEO mind.
I gotta kind of like take his information and package it up, make it look good.
Yeah. And also, I think because you wear the CEO hat and I wear the visionary hat, and it's like sometimes it's like you make the right calls and decisions, and it just like it grounds us.
Yeah,
because it's like I'm like, dude, I'm about to go fly, and you're like, wait a second, you don't have wings yet.
Yeah, you need wings. Wait, you haven't even had your fucking. You don't know how to fly, bro.
So anyway, again, thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, and if there's anything that you guys want us to talk about in the future, hit us up, reach out to us, and we'll see you on the next one.